In this video, I want to show you how you can input tracks into your session. To do this, you go to the track menu and then select Import. From here, you can navigate to the folder where the audio files are that you want to import into the session. So mine is in my Groove 3 folder. There's the projects, and it's in this folder over here. So this has a selection of audio files that I want to pull into the session. If you select a track, you'll see its properties on the right over here. So this is showing the track name, if it's a mono or stereo track, its sample rate, and its format and length. You can also audition the file by pressing the play here. And we scroll through to here. So you can hear that's a kick drum there. So let's select all these tracks. I'm just going to hold down Shift and select them all. Maybe I'll unselect one track because I just want to show you something after this. So I'll leave this last track unselected. Then under here, you're choosing how these tracks are going to be imported. They're going to be added as new tracks. You could also choose a region list, but I'll show you that next. And then they can be mapped to one track per file, or you could have them one track per channel, as sequence files, all files in one track, or merge the files. But what I want to do is I want a single track. So in Mixbus, you're going to see each individual track. And don't worry too much about this. This is going over MIDI, which we'll get to later. Then for the insert, you can insert at the start of the session, maybe at a specific timestamp, at an edit point, or maybe where you position the playhead. For now, let's set it to the session start. Awesome. And another important thing is to make sure that you copy the files to the session folder. If you don't have this copied, then it's going to reference that track. And if you maybe move this file somewhere else, it's going to lose that link between the audio file and the session. So I highly recommend ticking copy files to session. It is going to add up and duplicate files across your system, but it's just a safe way to go and make sure that you don't lose any sort of connection with audio files and the session of your project. So now let's click Import. You're going to see a progress bar as it imports all those tracks. Now, if I close this window, here are all the tracks in this editor view of Mixbus. So there's a track, and then the track has an audio file. And now if you go over onto this panel over here, you have regions. And then this is showing the different regions. So on a track, it has a file, and that file is associated with a region. And remember, I didn't add one track. Now I want to show you if you import to the region list, which is this list over here. So if we go back to track and import, it was this last track. Instead of saying as new track, I'm going to say to region list. Now watch this. If I click import, it's added that track over here to the region list, but it's not associated with a track. So what I then need to do is create a new audio track. So this is if you want to pull all your files to the region list, but add them as you go to tracks. So now I can say add track. This brings up the add track dialog box. I want to add an audio track. I want to add one audio track. I can give it a name if I want. Let's just name it the same name as the region that it's going to be. So that's 24 Vox Harmony. And this is going to be a stereo file. So just make sure you select the correct configuration of the file. Now I can take this file from the region list and drag this on to the track over here. So that's just showing you the difference of importing files to tracks or importing them into the region and then creating the tracks that you need at a later stage to pull them in from the region list. And then on the region list here, you can see if you expand on it, it's showing you the audio file associated with that region list that's going to that track. So that's pretty much the summary of this. You've got tracks, regions, and then on the region, there is an audio file associated with it. So this pretty much is like an audio bin or audio pool where all your audio files reside. And then these regions are housed within a track in the session. And if for some reason you're not seeing this region list over here, just make sure under View you've got Show Editor List. So that just opens up that panel. And we can explore this editor list quite a bit throughout this series. This shows you your different tracks and buses, your regions, snapshots, groups, and your range markers and so on. So it's quite a handy tool. So just make sure that you got this when you need it so that you can use it. Now, in the next video, let's explore this editor window so you understand it a bit more.